Welcome to our deep dive into the maintenance and reliability world. I'm Ryan Chan, founder and CEO of UpKeep. Today we're going to unravel the complex concepts of criticality and risk analysis and how they can be a game changer for your maintenance team's operational optimization. We'll explore the different methods to assess asset criticality, what kind of data informs this, and how it impacts your maintenance scheduling. Later on, we'll shift gears to risk analysis, how it plays out in your facility's safety and production, and its role in shaping your maintenance plan. Stick around to find out how these two concepts intertwine and their crucial role in maintenance planning. Let's jump right in. First, let's talk about world of maintenance and reliability, and explore the difference between criticality and risk analysis. These two concepts are key for any maintenance team looking to optimize their operations. First up, criticality. This is a measure of how important an asset is to your process. Think of it this way: the more critical the asset, the bigger the impact if it fails. On the flip side, risk analysis refers to the total amount of risk posed by specific failure modes. It takes into account both the probability and severity of potential failures. Now let's talk about how we assess asset criticality. There are many ways to do this, but one common method involves rating an asset based on its impact on various categories. These categories could include health and safety, the natural environment, operations, and customers. For example, a failure in your conveyor system might rank a 5 on operations, but only a 1 for the environment. Once you've ranked an asset in each category, you can either multiply them together or leave them as individual criticality ratings. Either way, the higher the number, the more critical the asset will be. It's important to note that this type of criticality analysis doesn't account for probability. However, probability is often included to evaluate risk. So what kind of data informs asset criticality? Well, since an asset's criticality is based on what could happen if it fails, the asset's history can be a valuable resource. Work orders and maintenance reports can provide insight into what can happen with a given piece of equipment, and they can also help you figure out how much downtime is associated with specific failure modes. In addition to your maintenance records, other sources can help you determine how severe a given breakdown can be. For example, when evaluating the impact of a mechanical failure in your facility, you might look at records detailing defects, lost production time, and so forth. Overall, the types of metrics you might look at include the number and types of failures over the life of the asset, unplanned downtime associated with specific failure modes, number of defects, work order completion times or mean time to repair, and maintenance costs associated with failures. Typically, the more critical an asset is, the more important it is to keep it from breaking down. As such, critical assets are often prioritized for preventive maintenance. But remember, just because an asset is critical doesn't mean it should be the focus of all of your maintenance efforts. Over-maintaining critical equipment is a common mistake that can lead to wasted time and resources. So, how can we use criticality? It can assist with maintenance scheduling. When creating the schedule for the week, maintenance planners can use the criticality of an asset to prioritize which tasks should be completed first. Critical assets may also warrant more thorough maintenance planning and analysis. Now let's shift gears and talk about risk analysis. This is a way to determine how much risk an asset poses to your facility, such as in safety or production. It incorporates both the potential consequences of a failure as well as how probable it might be. The process of risk analysis takes the odds of a failure occurring and multiplies it by the asset's criticality. The end result is a ranking of how much risk is posed by the asset's operations to your facility. To get an idea of how likely a given failure mode would be, you can use data tracked through your CMMS. By tracking data logged into your system, you're able to determine how frequently a given failure mode occurs and see what the risk would be for that failure in the future. Since risk deals with probability as well as consequence, it benefits from assessing the frequency of given failure modes as well as their severity. Mean time between failures can be useful when performing risk analysis, as can other historical data related to the asset. When done properly and thoroughly, risk analysis can give you insight into what shape your maintenance plan should take. It helps you know which failure modes are likely to occur and therefore helps you determine what types of maintenance work are most worth including for each asset. Risk-based maintenance relies heavily on risk analysis. The steps to creating a risk-based maintenance plan include collecting data from your machines and systems, determining the likelihood that an asset will fail, determining the consequences of failure, ranking the risks and their potential consequences, planning inspections and preventive maintenance based on mitigating risks, putting the plan into action, and assessing the results and repeating the process. In addition to creating the groundwork for risk-based maintenance, risk analysis can also help with some of the more nuanced components of reliability planning, such as making sure you have the right spares in stock and handling plant redundancy. Now let's talk about how we can use risk and criticality together. These two go hand in hand when performing maintenance planning. The more critical the asset is, the more you'll want to make sure it keeps running. But if it's also low risk, it may not be as high of a priority in your maintenance planning unless a failure would be particularly severe. Likewise, an asset that's likely to fail but is not critical to your operations won't necessarily be high risk because a failure would have a negligible impact. On the other hand, equipment that's both highly critical and failure-prone would take higher priority, so you'll want to schedule preventive maintenance accordingly. While criticality and risk are technically two separate concepts, they are frequently used together in maintenance planning. Criticality analysis often takes more than severity into account by combining it with the likelihood of that asset failing. Using both criticality and probability in criticality analysis helps improve maintenance planning by creating a more complete picture of the potential risks posed by each asset. Ratings for both criticality and risk are multiplied together to create a rating of how that asset should be prioritized, known as a risk priority number. The higher the number, the more of a priority it usually is for maintenance planning purposes. But like all things, criticality and risk have their limitations. They aren't the only consideration that should be made. For instance, if the failure mode of an asset would have catastrophic results in terms of safety and health, it's generally worth preventing even if it's not very likely. As such, PMs, condition monitoring, and other measures that prevent that failure mode may take priority over equipment faults that technically have a higher risk priority number but aren't particularly severe. Also, performing preventive maintenance on some pieces of equipment may not necessarily be cost-effective, even if that equipment is important to your process and tends to fail. A prime example is equipment that is old or outdated. Older equipment tends to fail more often, causing more downtime than other factors, so while that may drive up the frequency of breakdowns, keeping up with some PMs may not be worthwhile if the machine is just going to be replaced in the near future. In some cases, it may be clear that a given failure mode is both likely and potentially severe, but the odds of detecting that failure are low. As such, risk and criticality are not enough. Accounting for limited visibility over the equipment's current condition is also important. For this reason, maintenance teams may want to add detectability as a third rating into their criticality analysis, with 1 being easy to detect and 6 being hard or impossible. In cases where severe failure modes are hard to detect or particularly rare, condition monitoring can fill the gap by improving visibility on that asset. To wrap things up, criticality is a representation of how important an asset is to your facility and how severe the results would be if it were to fail. Risk, on the other hand, deals with the severity of a failure as well as its probability. Both risk and criticality play a crucial role in criticality analysis. When used properly, criticality and risk analysis can be powerful tools in prioritizing maintenance and performing reliability planning. So, keep these concepts in mind as you strategize your maintenance efforts. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into criticality and risk analysis. We've explored how these concepts can shape your maintenance planning and operational optimization. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to our channel for more insights. For more information, visit our website at upkeep.com. Remember, understanding and applying these concepts can make a significant difference in your maintenance team's success. Until next time, keep optimizing.